Hi, it's Bill. I'm a divorce lawyer at the Gentry Law Firm in Marietta, Cobb County, Georgia. This is the fourth in our series of webinars about divorce law and how our lives are changing because of the coronavirus and social distancing. Today's program should run about 15 minutes. Afterward, we'll post it on our YouTube channel. At the end of our presentation, we'll take some questions that are posted in the chat box. Right now, it's time for the legal disclaimer. The information in this presentation is for general information purposes only. Nothing should be taken as legal advice for any individual case or situation. This information is not intended to create, and receipt or viewing it does not constitute the creation of an attorney-client relationship. Opinions expressed in this webinar are of the presenter only. Today, we've got a particularly interesting topic to talk about. That is selling real estate in the age of COVID. We are very fortunate to have with us today an experienced realtor, Linda Lloyd. Linda, take a minute and tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Bill. Thank you for having me. As Bill said, I'm Linda Lloyd. I'm a realtor with Atlanta Communities. I've grown up in Atlanta, been in the area all my life, so I know Metro Atlanta really well. I'm a problem solver who cares about people and enjoys helping people. Most of my clients become my friends. We try to have fun while we're looking at houses, and I try to take the stress out of buying or selling a home.
Wonderful. Well, you said most of your clients become friends, and some of your friends become your clients, like me, right?
That's true.
Now, where do you typically have your real estate listings?
A lot of listings have been in Cobb, but quite honestly, I've got one that just went under contract in East Atlanta. Another one I've sold in Lawrenceville. I've closed in Beaufort. I mean, I'm all over because having grown up in Atlanta and having friends and family here, I want to help everybody I know, so I go where I'm needed.
Awesome. Well, you touched a little bit about your approach to selling real estate. Can you tell our audience a little bit more about your particular approach to selling real estate? Maybe how it differs from some of the other folks who are in this line of work.
Well, I tend to go above and beyond because I do care. I'll help people if they need help with walking through the house, telling them what they need to do if they're going to sell their home in order to help it sell faster. Because once you decide to sell, you're ready to do it. So there's a number of steps you want to take, whether it's during the pandemic or normally. Neutralizing the walls, making the rooms look bigger by the guideline of less is more. Just making sure that you have the best looking house. If you're buying, you want to do a lot of research beforehand. Drive around the neighborhood, check out the area, check out the crime, the schools, depending what's important to you, and make sure you like everything about it. Look online at the pictures and the virtual tours. And then if you want to see the home, it's going to depend on the seller, what the parameters are going to be for us to show it.
Well, Linda, I assume most realtors represent sellers, but do you ever represent buyers in real estate transactions?
Yes, that's the latter part that I was talking about was for the buyers.
Good.
Definitely do both.
So you can help the buyers do their due diligence on neighborhoods that they might be interested in moving into.
Correct.
All right. Well, you mentioned the virus. In the age of the coronavirus, with that at the forefront of so many people's minds, is real estate still selling in the age of the pandemic? Well, tell us about it.
Sellers still need to sell, buyers still need to buy, whether it's that your work has transferred you or it's a divorce situation or whatever the situation is, people still need to buy and sell homes. I had a closing April 7th. I had a house go under contract April 19th. I've got showings today at a house that I have listed. Things are happening. The house that's listed today is being shown today is vacant. So it's perfect during this pandemic. People can go in and be comfortable and not have to worry about anything. During the pandemic, if a home is occupied and it's listed, it's important that we find out what the seller is comfortable with. And if they would like us to be proactive, it's a good idea to have sanitizers and ask the buyers to wear masks. The sellers should open up all the doors and turn on all the lights and lessen the amount of areas where the buyer would have to touch. We can ask them not to touch. We can do virtual showings, whether it's previously recorded, whether it's the agent going through with their phone doing FaceTime. It might even be the seller going through doing FaceTime, whatever they're comfortable with, because we want everybody to be comfortable with this process.
Well, since I've known you pretty much all our lives, I know you're a hard worker. So what you're saying is you're willing to accommodate whatever the buyer and the sellers need in terms of their comfort level with sanitation and so forth.
Correct.
Good, good. So houses are still selling now.
They are. They definitely are.
Well, I know, Linda, that sometimes realtors face situations. As a divorce lawyer, I see it more often than I'd like to, where the couples are going through a divorce, or recently they've gone through a divorce and they're selling what used to be their marital residence. So, and of course, there's maybe one or both wants to sell the house, maybe one doesn't want to sell the house. And I know that's really an issue for settlement discussions or maybe what the judge ordered. But if the house is going to be sold, do you face particular challenges when a husband and wife or a recent ex-husband and wife are selling a house, and how do you face those challenges?
Well, it definitely can be sticky. We've got to focus on the end goal. Having been there, I totally understand. You get caught up in what a good friend has said, pots and pans, the things. And I certainly hear that. But the end goal is to free up the equity and make it so everybody can get on with their lives. And if there's children involved, we certainly want to move it as fast as possible. I just try to focus on the end goal and keep them focused on the main point, which is selling the home and letting them move on.
All right. Now, I mean, but you can run into friction between the two. I mean, where people get to the point of getting divorced, and one will say the sky is blue and the other will say the sky is black or red, just to be contrarian. Is that something that well, for example, getting them to focus on the end goal of selling? Are there any other pieces of advice that you have for folks going through that situation?
Just look to the future, look to what you want to do next, and focus on that as opposed to the hard feelings and the things.
Right. So kind of envision your best future and understand that selling this house will get one or both of them off the mortgage, will probably put some equity in both of their hands, and will probably give them more money to buy the house or rent the apartment that they prefer to be living in.
Correct.
Okay. Are you finding anything about the real estate market in the age of the coronavirus a pleasant surprise for you? In other words, are there areas where things are going kind of better than you expected they might be, given all the craziness that's going on right now?
Well, this is the spring market, and this is when it's usually totally crazy. And, you know, as a realtor, we're just running in circles, and it's busy. I was a little surprised. I didn't know what to expect. Some people that were ready to put their house on the market are waiting and watching to see what happens, and other people, their plans are in line and they've got to move forward. So it's good. Things are moving, and I'm pleasantly surprised.
Good. Well, and I've heard it's been a few years since I last sold a house, but that buyers typically want the house to be move-in ready. In other words, people seem to be less inclined to buy fixer-uppers and put a lot of sweat equity into it after. Is that your experience?
Well, if you haven't sold a house in a long time, HGTV has totally changed the market. You can thank Chip and Joanna Gaines for that. The generations that are buying now definitely don't want a project home like our parents might have. They want to move in and just put their things in and go on back to work. So it's a good idea to neutralize paint colors, to get rid of all the clutter. Updated homes and renovated homes in good school districts sell much faster than a home with wallpaper and the shiny brass. It makes a big difference in how long the house will sit.
So do you have a situation where there are particular kinds of, for example, a new refrigerator or a dishwasher or light fixtures that ought to be replaced or swapped out? Or do you make allowances for that in the sales price? Or how do you deal with issues like that?
Well, the first listing appointment that I go on, I'll talk to the people. We walk through the home. I warn them up front. I don't want to offend anybody. If they'd like my input, I'll give it to them. And I walk through and I point out areas that might be improved, that might help, just from what I've seen people are looking at. It amazes me when I'm with a client and they look at a house and they say, I really liked it, but I didn't like the paint color. I can't buy that one. And I try to subtly mention, you can change the paint. But it's surprising. You definitely can change a light fixture easily. Painting doesn't take that much. It's just, there's the little things. People love stainless steel kitchens, and putting new appliances in is definitely a good thing. You've got to decide. You may not get all your money back in the sale, but the house will sell faster.
And you may get a sale that you might not have gotten otherwise.
Right.
So I know granite countertops used to be all the rage. Are they still hot?
They're hot. Any kind of stone countertop, quartz, granite, just if you have a Formica countertop, you want to evaluate that and get some estimates on what you can do to make it look more up to date. There's even finishes that go on the Formica that look amazing.
Awesome. So a lot of these are not huge expenses, but can really set your house apart from other houses on the market.
Right, and that's the main goal. You've got to make, why does your house look better than the other one they just looked at? Pops of color outside, making it really clean. I can't stress that enough. Clean the windows, clean the window sills, even the furnace room, clean the top of the hot water heater, things that people look at. And if that looks clean, they know it's well maintained. And that's important.
Well, Linda, do you have any closing comments for our audience before we wrap this up?
Beware of scams. There's a lot of email scams out. If you get an email about wiring money, you want to call the source, but not from that email, from another number that you can access. Just make sure before you wire any money, double check where the URL at the top of the page, where it's from. That will be a clue also. There's some resources for homeowners that are affected by coronavirus on my website, listedwithlynda.net. And whether it's mortgage help, coronavirus relief for property owners, and resources. My email is Linda Lloyd at listedwithlynda.net. And I'd love to be able to help any of you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, you can reach us at the Gentry Law Firm by phone at 770-425-5573, by email at info@gentrylawfirm.law, and through our website at gentrylawfirmgeorgia.com. Please like and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn for more updates. And Linda just told you how to reach her. Please share this video with anyone who may need it. And at this point, we're going to take some questions through the chat box. Looks like, Linda, we have one. It's basically, what is the home lending market like now? Is it more difficult to get a home loan now, or about the same?
I think it's about the same. This is not the housing crisis of 2008. They're vetting people more. They're looking at them. The interest rates are good depending on your credit score and what product you're looking at. You could be between the high 2s and the 5s as far as percentage goes. If you need a lender, I have quite a few. I could connect you. When you buy a house, you have to be pre-approved if you're getting a loan, a mortgage, And if you're paying cash, you need proof of funds, and that goes with the offer. So those things would help. That's a good question. Thank you.
Good, good.
And
Well,
I'm on the social media also, Linda Lloyd Realtor.
say that again. I'm sorry.
I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, you name it. All of them. Just if you'd like to reach me.
Awesome, awesome. Okay. And give me your email address again.
Linda Lloyd at listitwithlinda.net.
Awesome. Well, very good. Well, Linda, I think that's going to wrap us up for today. Thank you so much. And folks know how to get in touch with each of us if they have any questions.
Thank you
Have a
for
great
having
day.
me.
Yeah. Stay well.
You too.